Hi there, Dr. Karen here, just checking in. And if you might have noticed, I've been doing a series on grief, all sorts of different kinds of grief. I've had quite a few good posts out there. I mean, anything from losing a loved one to losing a pet, which can be particularly devastating because, the unconditional love and the way we animal lovers feel about our pets, but then also the concept of compound grief, like, that triggers, maybe other wounds or other things losses that we have not grieved. And the way that I look at grief, there's a lot of different stages and phases. There's shock, anger, denial, bargaining, waiting, testing, which is kind of bargaining, integration. And then my favorite, eventually, well, not my favorite, I mean, there's nothing fun about this, but the silver lining or the hope at the end is that you can integrate the loss into your life. And this, a really good example is with a medical diagnosis or a cancer diagnosis. I mean, you're never the same, but you do find a way to create a new normal and you do find a way to integrate that. I know like, for example, I'm a competitive tennis player. I finally won a match. I haven't won a match forever. Lost a lot of tiebreakers and third sets, but finally won a match this morning. And I can sit here and complain, oh, well, if I didn't have to, if I didn't have some of the medical challenges that I have, I'd be such a better tennis player. But instead of just being grateful that I get to play and I won a match and I can still play singles, I can still play well. Or, it could be something else, like at different phases of life with parenting or other things, maybe before you're a parent, you used to, being a little bit more social or working longer hours or doing, different things. And then once you become a parent, I mean, every cell of your being is focused, for that person, that little tiny person running around. This morning, my daughter, she just turned 9, and I took her to school this morning, 3rd grade, and she forgot her sweatshirt, and I thought, well, I could give her a natural consequence, to be cold, but then I thought about how cold it might be in the building with the AC, so made another trip over there and dropped it off for her. But yeah, my point with that is with parenting, like that integrates into every cell of our being, as far as, just shifted priorities. And then, there's phases and stages. I mean, I've gone all the way, I have a 3rd grader, I have a junior in high school, and I have a sophomore in college. So obviously what my 20-year-old requires is very different than my 9-year-old or, my 17-year-old, somewhere in the middle. But I mean, that's even a grieving process, like when they go off to college. that was rough. I remember when I drove Corey up to College Station, I cried for 3 hours. Like, put my big sunglasses on, he was driving, cried for 3 hours. But I mean, it's nice to see him thrive and, all the wonderful things, go up and visit him. And he has spring break next week, so I'll get to see him at the end of spring break. And then, yeah, there's just different phases, different stages. Like, Cameron's a morning person, has me up at the crack of dawn. If I want to hang out with Kyle, my high schooler, he gets home later, likes to eat dinner at 9 o'clock at night, so I can, be there watching me. And then he says, Mom, go to sleep because I'm so tired. But just wanted to give a little bit of, kind of a framework for grief and weathering the transitions of life, whether it's a loss or a life change. So reach out if you have any questions. I do have my my life chapter transition group, and I have grief support. But let me know what's on your mind and send me a message if you want more information about being part of my community.